What's up, folks? I'm Chris, your MLB writer here at OccupyFantasy.com, here with a look at the massive 13-game main slate here in Major League Baseball for Friday, May 13th on FanDuel, DraftKings, and Yahoo. No major weather situations to worry about tonight. A couple of weather situations that will definitely drive everyone's decision-making, though, and that is it's Coors Field slate. The Royals are visiting the Rockies, and the Cubs are visiting the Arizona Diamondbacks, where it's going to be 93 degrees tonight. Both of those games have massive positive adjustments for hitters in our model, so those will be the most popular offenses people will stack tonight. More on that in a bit. We always like to look at the starting pitching that's available before making any decisions on how we're going to attack a slate. And unlike the last few nights, there are a ton of good options tonight, so it almost makes this a completely different slate than the ones that we're used to. Starting at the top of the model here, we have Max Scherzer pitching against the Seattle Mariners tonight. Mariners are actually one of the tougher teams to strike out over the last month, but this is Max Scherzer, averaging 1.32 strikeouts per innings pitched over the last year of his career, and we have him projected for 1.22 tonight in the matchup. Behind him, we like Clayton Kershaw for the Dodgers. A pair of wily old veterans here leading the pack in the model tonight. Kershaw and Scherzer are both massive moneyline favorites, over minus 200 here, over minus 220 for both of them. So it's probably going to be difficult to get both these guys into a DraftKings or a Yahoo lineup tonight, but there's certainly an argument for trying to figure a way to do that. Kershaw projected for a very similar, identical even, 1.17 strikeouts per innings pitched with starting pitcher number 3, Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole is facing the Chicago White Sox. The White Sox are easily the best matchup of the three here for the big three starting pitchers in our model. Now you see a fourth name here with an identical OF index to Garrett Cole, Chase Silseth with the Los Angeles Angels. This is a rookie for the Angels who's being called up to make his Major League debut tonight against the Oakland Athletics, who are the worst hitting lineup in Major League Baseball and who strike out the most in Major League Baseball. Silseth is off to a great start to his minor league career. 26 innings across 5 starts, 37 total strikeouts. And he's facing Double-A competition, so we need to adjust our expectations. He's not going to average, we don't think he's going to average over a strikeout per inning pitched here in Major League Baseball consistently. But even looking at what he's projected to do if he were to pitch in Major League Baseball this year, at places like Fangraphs, they have him projected for just under a strikeout per inning pitched. We're choosing to be a little more aggressive in our projection tonight because of how poor Oakland has been performing. We actually have Silseth projected for a slate high 1.34 strikeouts per innings pitched. Silseth just 5,500 on DraftKings tonight, and he may be the cheap pitcher on DraftKings or Yahoo that people slot in, and then they pair with one of these aces here to get some expensive hitters in their lineups tonight. I certainly think Silseth is a strong play this evening, and our model obviously agrees. Now, looking at offenses that we can consider, we do like to start by looking at who is projected fairly low in our model. We have Zach Greinke for the Royals here. He's facing the Rockies at Coors Field. We have the opposing starting pitcher, Kyle Freeland, for the Rockies. They're both here at the bottom of the model. Really friendly hitter environment. No secret there. Everybody knows about Coors Field. The White Sox are actually throwing Vince Velasquez tonight, not Dallas Keuchel, so this is incorrect. But Velasquez is also allowing elite contact to hitters from both sides of the plate over the last year of his outings, and he's almost certainly going to slot into a very similar position here in our model once we get that corrected. So the Yankees may be an interesting option. Drew Smyly, left-handed pitcher here, facing the Arizona Diamondbacks in Arizona tonight in that really strong hitters environment. Smyly, not a very good pitcher in terms of isolated slugging allowed to hitters of all types, so Smyly might be someone that we're targeting. Let's see what the Stacks dashboard thinks. No surprise, Colorado, Kansas City, Arizona, all 1, 2, 3 in the model. Now, there are 26 teams on this slate. I don't think it's time to necessarily make firm decisions here early in the morning. According to this, about 9:30 in the morning. Let's see how confirmed lineups come in. Let's see how ownership projections come in. Those will be updated by about 5 p.m. Eastern in our model, and then make some decisions from there. Certainly think these are the best places to start and maybe orient your thinking about this slate tonight, but there are a couple of other directions I think you can go. A couple of spots that I'm intrigued by. A little lower in our Stacks dashboard here. Minnesota Twins have the 3rd highest implied team total in betting markets, so they're obviously going to be someone that the field is probably looking at, but they're facing Aaron Savale for the Cleveland Guardians, who allows a really, really high isolated slugging and weighted on base average to right-handed hitters especially. Savali allowing a 262 ISO, 391 weighted on base average, specifically to right-handed hitters. That's great news for somebody like Byron Buxton, who is always at the top of our individual hitter model. And you see, I haven't filtered for the Rockies here, but if you see here, we have Buxton as a top 4 hitter on this slate. I think he's one of my favorite raw plays, despite the high price tag tonight, because of all those reasons. Somewhere else that I think you can go tonight, pretty highly ranked, just outside the top 4, the New York Yankees facing Velasquez of the White Sox tonight. Number 2 in projected isolated slugging, a fairly reasonable implied team total in betting markets tonight, anticipated to score 4.5 runs. The Yankees are very hot right now, and I don't see that slowing down tonight against Velasquez. Velasquez allowing a 241 ISO to lefties and a 257 ISO to righties. So Velasquez is definitely one of the weaker arms on the slate to target. New York Yankee bats may be strong for that reason. We can start with Max Scherzer, our favorite pitcher on the slate in the Occupy model. We've learned by looking at some of the winning lineups in small field, high stakes contests. The most popular offenses people play, especially on these large slates like this, more often than not, winning lineups do not feature them as a primary stack. So when we look at a team like Colorado tonight, Colorado's probably going to carry the highest ownership. And you see in our model that we have high OF index, obviously slate high team total, but more modest projected isolated slugging and weighted on base average rankings on this slate. So I do think if you're going to play a team like Colorado or even Kansas City tonight, I would play them as a secondary stack, which to me that means I want to play 2 or 3 of these hitters max in my lineups tonight. I'm typically a single entry player. I'm only building one lineup, so I'm probably not going to be primary stacking the Rockies and the Royals. Doesn't mean they're not good plays tonight. It just means that I think they're going to be played more heavily by the field I am up against than they're probably worth playing tonight. So in a contest on DraftKings tonight, high-risk contests, I think I would focus on CJ Cron and Elias Diaz, if those guys are in the lineup, as a couple of Rockies hitters to get exposure to as a secondary stack. We have them projected to hit 4th and 6th, respectively, in the order. Cron 4th, Diaz 6th. And the reason I like that spot tonight is Greinke allows an elite 206 ISO, 346 weighted on base average to right-handed hitters especially. These are 2 of the best right-handed hitters we can anticipate being in Colorado's lineup tonight. That's probably as far as I'm willing to go with the Rockies. I did mention Byron Buxton against Savali is one of my favorite individual hitters on this slate, so I could use him as either the anchor for a twin stack or as a one-off play if I end up running some other 5-man stack here with 2 outfield positions and all the middle infield positions. I'm going to look at our model and see what some of the best options are to fit alongside some of these plays to get something done tonight. 37-33 per player remaining for all of these spots. That's certainly more than enough. When you consider that you can actually get a cheap pitcher like Silseth here on DraftKings in there as SP2, you got a lot more room to work with to fill out the rest of your lineup. So this is probably the path I'm most likely to travel down by the time I finalize a DraftKings lineup tonight. Over on FanDuel, pretty straightforward. Pricing always a little softer. You can run Scherzer. There's no Silseth on FanDuel tonight, so that's not an option there. You got 4 Colorado Rocky hitters here, our favorite stack in the model. And you got 2,700 per player remaining. You can make anything you want really happen here in the rest of your lineup. Big slate tonight, a lot of options, a lot of moving parts. We will have, as always, the daily plug at OccupyFantasy.com updated by about an hour before lock this evening. If you want to talk about more MLB DFS, we have a link to our Discord. It's below the description of every video, and we will be back on Sunday to talk more MLB DFS.